Board games have been around for thousands of years and have evolved significantly over time. In this documentary, we will take a look at the evolution of board games from classic to modern times. Firstly, let's explore the origins of board games. Board games have been found in archaeological digs dating back to ancient Egypt, and there are even references to board games in the Bible. Ancient board games such as Senet and Go were often used for religious or cultural purposes and were typically made out of wood or stone. Senet is an ancient Egyptian game believed to be over 5,000 years old. The game was played by two people, who would take turns moving pieces across a board of 30 squares. The aim of the game was to be the first player to move all their pieces off the board. Mancala is an ancient African strategy game, believed to have originated in the 6th century AD. It is played on a board with 2 rows of 6 pits, and players take turns sowing and capturing stones. The aim of the game is to capture more stones than your opponent. Moving on to the Middle Ages, board games became more popular in Europe. Chess was invented during this time and quickly became one of the most popular board games of all time. Chess was a game of strategy, and it required players to think several moves ahead. It was often played by royalty and the nobility. The Middle Ages also saw the invention of dice games. These games have a board with spots numbered from 1 to 6, and players would throw a specially marked die onto the board and then move if their number landed on the square they landed on. The game is called drafts or checkers depending on what continent it was played in. A popular game during medieval times was called fox and geese. Players would take turns either throwing sticks or coins at a target to see who could hit it first, or throwing stones in an attempt to land directly on top of the other player's target. As history progressed, the beloved board game genre has continually evolved and adapted. From ancient Egyptian Senet to the 19th century classic board games like snakes and ladders or checkers, these beloved pastimes have been providing entertainment to people of all ages around the world for centuries. Snakes and ladders is a classic board game of luck and skill. Players take turns rolling the die and moving their pieces along the numbered squares of the board. When a player lands on a square containing a ladder, they can climb up to an even higher square. However, if they land on a square with a snake, they must slide down to a lower square. The first player to reach the highest square on the board wins the game. Checkers is a game of strategy and skill played on a checkered game board with alternating dark and light squares. The object is to capture your opponent's pieces by jumping over them. In snakes and ladders, the player who reaches the highest square on the board wins. In checkers, the first player to have no pieces left wins. Board games have been around for centuries, but they've become more popular throughout recent decades as people work remotely, live together with their families, or just find it less stressful than playing video games or watching TV all day. In the 20th century, board games continued to evolve, and many new games were invented. Monopoly, for example, was invented in 1935 and quickly became a worldwide phenomenon. This game, like many others of the time, was often based on luck and chance but also involved strategy and decision-making. During the 1970s and 1980s, there was an immense amount of innovation in board games. For instance, in the 1970s, a new style of game called the cooperative game was introduced. This style of game had players working together towards a shared goal, instead of competing against each other. The Landlord's Game Co-op is a cooperative game designed to teach players about the benefits of working together to achieve a common goal. Players must work together to build up their own property and resources, while simultaneously trying to outcompete their neighbors. Players must cooperate with one another in order to build the most successful areas of property and resources, while also competing against their opponents in order to earn the most points. The game is designed for 2 to 4 players and can be completed in about an hour. Monopoly. Created in 1935, Monopoly is one of the most popular board games of all time. Players buy, sell, and trade properties as they race around the board trying to be the first to make it to the top. In 1996, Microsoft purchased the rights to Monopoly and released a new version of the game that has proven immensely popular. Scrabble is a timeless and classic word-based board game that was invented in 1938. It has been played for generations, offering players the opportunity to build words with specially marked letter tiles and scoring points for each successful word they manage to put together. The game is beloved by many due to its simple yet effective rules, providing an enjoyable time of friendly competition with family and friends. Battleship is an iconic guessing game that was created in the early 1930s and remains a favorite activity for both adults and children alike. The classic version of the game pits 2 opponents against each other as they try to strategically guess the coordinates of their opponent's ships in order to sink them before their own ships are destroyed. Players alternate turns calling out coordinates in an attempt to hit their opponent's ships, leading to intense strategic battles and plenty of fun. In the latter half of the 20th century, board games began to undergo a significant transformation as they started to emphasize more on strategies and player interaction rather than simply rolling dice or playing cards. These new form of board games, often referred to as Eurogames, became hugely popular and included games such as Risk and Settlers of Catan that involved complex rule sets and mechanics that created an immersive gaming experience. Settlers of Catan. Settlers of Catan is a board game where players must build settlements, cities, and roads on the island of Catan. Players collect resources from the island and use them to build and expand their settlements. The goal of the game is to be the first player to gain 10 victory points. Risk is a classic board game of strategy and conquest. The objective of the game is to achieve global domination by occupying every territory on the board. Players take turns to roll dice and move their pieces around the board, claiming territories and attacking opponents. Each round, players must make strategic decisions about how to use their armies and where to attack. Risk is a great game for 2 to 6 players, and is suitable for ages 10+. Finally, in the 21st century, board games have continued to evolve and become even more diverse. Many modern board games are designed to be played in short periods of time, and often have simple rules that can be learned quickly. These games are often referred to as gateway games, as they are a great way for newcomers to the hobby to get started. Ticket to Ride is a popular board game that combines elements of strategy and luck. The game is easy to learn, but difficult to master, making it a great choice for players of all skill levels. The objective of the game is to build the longest railway route across North America, while also completing specific destination tickets for bonus points. Players draw cards to claim sections of track and must plan their moves carefully to block their opponents and secure their own routes. With its engaging gameplay and beautiful artwork, Ticket to Ride is a classic choice for board game enthusiasts. Sushi Go is a fun and fast-paced card game that is perfect for introducing new players to the world of modern board games. In this game, players compete to collect the most valuable sushi dishes by passing a hand of cards around the table. Each card has a different point value, so players must strategize to maximize their score. Sushi Go is easy to learn and quick to play, making it a great option for casual gaming sessions with friends and family. Carcassonne is a classic board game that has been enjoyed by players for over 2 decades. The game is set in medieval France and challenges players to construct a landscape using tiles that feature various features such as roads, cities, and cloisters. The objective of the game is to score points by controlling specific areas of the board. Carcassonne is a strategic game that requires players to think ahead and plan their moves carefully. With its beautiful artwork and engaging gameplay, Carcassonne is a must-play for board game enthusiasts. Overall, board games are a rich and diverse form of entertainment that offer something for everyone. Whether you're a casual player or a serious enthusiast, there are countless games to choose from that can provide hours of fun and engaging gameplay. From classic games like Ticket to Ride and Carcassonne to newer games like Sushi Go, the world of board games is always expanding and evolving, offering endless opportunities for discovery and enjoyment.